We're here with Dean. It's all right. Dean and Gene Ween of Ween. First. That's right. Yeah. Uh huh. Right. Yeah. Yep. Hanging with Coolio.
G, Nate Dogg.
Yeah, you gotta look for us actually, because we've been around, but um, we've been playing places where it's like really hard to see us, unless you're really hardcore, you know. We played this like small, like restaurant in Trenton a couple weekends ago, and then we played our local bar in the town where we lived the night before that, and then we toured the beach this summer. we played all these beach bars at the Jersey Shore. It's like warming up for the tour. So. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Played a beach show and then went to Barbados with my girlfriend for a week. It's very nice. It's the kind of shit we've been doing.
We got some kids that like us that are like that will make the trips, you know, anywhere, which is pretty cool.
So where y'all living? Y'all in Jersey or
I'm on the Jersey side of the river, and he's on the Pennsylvania side of the river. So I live in Lambertville, and he lives in New Hope, which is about 2 minutes away from each other. Same area, though. Just been hanging out. Chocolate and Cheese took like 6.5 years to make. That's why we haven't been doing anything. To answer your questions, Chocolate and Cheese was like a living nightmare to make, but it came out well. Yeah, it just took a long time. That's all.
did it take a long time to go over
Yeah, we had a lot of we had a lot of things that we wanted to get together. It took us a couple months to even find a place to put it, and then we bought all this gear and assembling it, and then our producer broke his ankle, and it's just a bunch of delays and stuff, So it took a long time. But that's why. Well, now we're here. We're done.
No. Actually, no, our concept of what we wanted to do with this record was, like you said, to find this house ideally and build a studio and have this casual place to record. Like we've been doing on the 4-track, at our house. But what it turned into was just, this big headache kind of. As always, our neighbors hate us, and even now in the studio, it's just a nicer studio, but the same exact, crappy situation. They want us out of there.
We're selling all of it, and we're putting it all in our pockets.
Still haven't figured out quite how to work the gear,
Actually, that could be
Yeah. Yeah. It would be good. For our cover of this album, our concept was to take all of our gear and just stack it up, because we spent like our whole advance that we got for Pure Guava on the studio. Just take everything and then just melt cheese and chocolate and just like shove things in the tape and just destroy the whole studio for the album cover, pile it all up and then just...
But that's not the album cover people will see.
No. But like you said, giving it away would be just as good.
What's that? They're all just sitting there.
No, all the fluid gear is lined up.
Oh, yeah.
So y'all gonna be going out
Yeah, there's going to be more touring for this record than ever. We're touring 6 weeks in America, and then we're probably going to tour 6 more weeks in Europe, and then like Australia and Japan. Full chocolate and cheese assault on the world. Yeah, and that'll be starting in like late October or something, till like for the rest of our lives, basically.
Do they love you in Japan?
I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah, we've been neglecting Holland. They're really pissed. They're pissed at us because we didn't tour we didn't tour Pure Guava over there at all, and they like really supported us, like for the pod and stuff, We spent like so much time like in every single little town in Holland, eating their food and staying in their little places. You know?
We toured Holland more extensively than like any other band that's like ever played there. We spent December and January of like it's 89 into 90 just sitting in Holland and just playing around Holland for like the whole time, literally.
Smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you guys keep fit?
I don't gain a pound like no matter how much I eat, but no, I like I don't know. I love food, but you know, I don't know. Sometimes I like forget to eat the whole day. I eat one meal a day if I did.
I gotta watch it. I'll gain like 45 pounds in 3 days. So, and doesn't matter. I've just been eating. It started last winter. The winter was so gruesome that like all I did was sit inside and eat like stew, and like take lots of shits. So, and I haven't really stopped either. So it's kind of continued. And the winter's coming again. So.
Play basketball like one day a week now. That's like my new fitness thing. Yeah.
So when you guys can do that?
Oh, I don't know.
Lifestyles of what?
Robin.
Yeah.
After Chocolate and Cheese comes out and the pod comes out, we will have 3 records out on Elektra, and we don't have like a pot to piss in, so we'll be on lifestyles of anything.
So, like, when you get the pod?
Yeah, they already have. It's getting reissued in like November or something. It's gonna come out. Well, we remastered it up at Masterdisc, which we never did before, so it sounds a lot better. Yeah, and that's it. Besides that, we're just putting it out. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think they were gonna look over it here and look into it and see what. See, yeah, the legality of it.
It won't come out if that doesn't happen. If that happens.
Are there a lot of other kids on this record?
Yeah, Joppa Road, man. #1. All over the board. Yeah, with a bullet, totally.
No, this record is full of hits, as always. Though,
A lot of crossover.
Dude, crossover is the key word when you're talking about Ween, Chocolate and Cheese. Totally, crossover. No, enormous.
Alternative credibility, all kinds of credibilities.
We
in
have
this one.
street credibility, alternative credibility, AOR capability. We're like, I mean, yeah, oh no, it's this record is something for everybody in there.
So, like, we were saying this, like, people get cut out and stuff like,
Oh,
Oh man, I don't know.
you guys never get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm very proud Philadelphian. I mean, I was born there and like raised there, and so, no, I don't see how they'll have any problem. Except, no, they won't have any problem. Freak yourself. That was a movie. Remember that movie Mannequin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew McCarthy.
Yeah, it was like a total early '80s movie. Yeah.
Except it's wrong though, right? It wasn't filmed at Woolworths.
Wanamaker's. Yeah, it's filmed at Wanamaker's. Yeah, they might get pissed at that because Philadelphians are very proud that Mannequin was filmed at Wanamaker's, and they are, man. When I remember when Mannequin was being filmed, because it was the first Wanamaker's ever in the country. It was in Philadelphia. It's a beautiful store, and yeah, it's a beautiful store, and yeah, go to Wanamaker's in Philly. It's great.
No, you ask any Philadelphian, what they're most proud about. Mannequin. They tell you, filmed at Woolworths.
That's the only thing. Surprised you picked that up, man. Have you ever had a bacon steak? It's great. It's delicious.
Like, I was in Philadelphia like 2 weeks ago, I bought like a cheese steak. It was like, the pack, this is like what you get like,
Yeah, in South Philly.
and I brought some of the cheese was raw, and
Yeah.
stain on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's what makes it. And they got the
Can be anything, depending on the situation. I mean, sometimes a quarter pounder with cheese can be like the best thing in the world,
Yeah.
Wayne said things gonna work. It's for the radio, so what's up radio? What's the first match?
Play it.
I guess we,
Like little one-line tasters, big one-liners.
Well, I think the mannequin.
like,
Ideally,
Yeah, we definitely want to have the shot of like us hooking up with Boys to Men, like, you know, after Boys to Men heard the Freedom of '76, like, some really gay picture of us like shaking hands with Boys to Men, you know, it'd be really stupid.
hopefully all the
shit goes like way too far out of control.
94 will just be, or 95 or whatever, just be the grossest you hear. Like, and that's what we're going for. We want to hook all that up, you know what I mean?
what was it like working on the movie?
It was a classic, you know. It was just a classic. You have to imagine, it was the two of us and Andrew, our producer, and we got his brother John, who's a good friend of ours, to go out there, and well, we got to meet Harvey Keitel, which was good, but I heard he got cut out of the movie or something. But the part that I remember the best was, you know, we didn't really know what was going to happen. We're out there, and you know, we didn't realize that whenever they film something, there's like 150 people or something in the crew, you know, standing around. Like, everyone's got this job. So they bring us out of our trailer, and they had rented this theater, and we were supposed to do this live shot, you know, this performance piece. And we came out on the stage, and they're like, all right, we're setting up, you know, all the setup. And it's like, okay, go. And then the guy goes like, ladies and gentlemen, Ween. And the theater is full of these people, these extras, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, and there's this smoke going off, and the music is like blasting, and all the kids are rocking because they're trying to get in the camera. And we weren't even like playing, we were just standing there like laughing, you know, because they didn't tell us, you know. So the four of us are like up on stage, they're just looking at each other laughing while there's like, you know, hundreds of these people like rocking to this tape of pork roll, egg, and cheese and smoke, and Pat is like running around us with his tuba. I mean,
There's like the 400-foot banner of the Boognish behind us, which is like the Boognish, you know, our symbol, and it's well lit, and it just looks like, you know, it's so intense, you know.
it was such a trip out. I mean, we were all just like cracking up. I laughed for like 5 minutes, you know, the tape was stopped. I think everybody was just started laughing too because they, you know, realized how crass the whole thing, you know, really looked.
Yeah, the whole thing was great, and Julia Sweeney was really cool too. She was just so funny, like, yeah, it was just so ridiculous. When she was in her Pat suit, she just like, I don't know, it was
I don't know if
funny.
we're supposed to identify kind of.
Nah, she's doing all kinds of stuff for the movie, but I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if we're in the movie anymore. They might have cut everything out, but I think we're in it. Yeah, I won't know till I
Next week.
sit in the back of the theater, scared, shaking.
There is no premiere. Either the movie.
Advertised.
Yeah, I don't know. I was told unless they just don't want us to come. Yeah, I was told like Disney doesn't have premieres, and I was like, oh, okay. Then I hung up and I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, right. Disney doesn't have premieres. Yeah, totally. Those bastards. Nah, it was hilarious. I mean, in the time that we were out there, which was like 4 days or something, we met like, you know, 100 superstars and stuff, you know. They were like feeding us, and they had us in this, you know, hotel. It was in the car driving us around. The whole thing, you know, they flew us out first class. The whole thing was like a total classic, you know. We were laughing.
Yeah, it's a production. You know, Hollywood is like a big production. It's amazing.
And we each came away from it with like $50, so it was it was really cool. Yeah, totally. Lots of flow. Yeah.
No, probably not, but maybe.
Live in LA. Matter of fact, definitely one.
So you guys, like, built the studio, and back when it was dead, so they built the studio. Yeah. Why did you do that?
We had to start making our record, and nobody would rent to us. You know, to find the ideal place that we wanted was like a big old rundown farmhouse with no neighbors for like 2 miles. You know, that cost like $200 a month to rent. It took us about a year to figure out that that place doesn't exist really. And so then we had to start. We had all our gear, and it didn't have a home. And this place, and they assured us like, oh, it's no problem. You can make music here day and night. You know, blah blah. And that lasted about 5 minutes before, they started to come in and get on our case.
What other things were going on?
Cable
Company,
Company, cable company.
service is run, a bunch of ladies on the phone.
Yeah, just a bunch of little stuff, Yeah, the cable
Everybody.
company doesn't like us, and the air freight company does not like us. Air freight.
No, not a Fortune 500. No, I think we're pretty much out of there. There's no way we can, when you're in there doing it, that someone is right there listening to you, just hating their guts, and it's really hard to do things that
It
way.
got so bad once that we were recording, and somebody they brought in like a big stereo system themselves. Somebody was working at, I think, Air Freight, and they put the speakers right up to the wall, and they started blasting like this classic rock station to try to get back at us, and like we stopped, just hearing this like.
They don't realize though that our neighbor used to do that to us. She had the weed whore who lived upstairs. She had this weak ass system, and she thought she would it was really cool putting on like her Emerson stereo. She doesn't realize that we're musicians and we have like a combined output wattage of like 60,000 watts between our apartment. It used to just blow her right out of the room when she pulled that stuff with her. Take that body from me at like 8 in the morning to be putting it on. A little bit. I went there last night in a drunken stupor to show my friend the horses. He's never seen horses, and I missed it, actually. I hadn't been there hardly since we moved there, I guess, since we moved out. So I was walking around there, and I missed it last night because it was like, 2 in the morning, and like all, the stars were out and the horses were, all around. And that was the best part about that place. It's just like, getting high and walking around at night. And really?
And I went out there and all the shows but one of them had gone back in there and set everything up
like the burnt cinders and stuff.
completely charged back on.
Yeah.
So, and you could just see, it's like really all in the house that had like a fireplace in it. It was like really like a
I have the TV that almost burned down the pod in my house. We were sitting on the couch one night, and we had this lamp with no shade, just the bare bulb exposed. And we just got so wrecked out of our minds sitting in front of the TV, we just passed out. And I woke up and the lamp had fallen down onto the TV, the bulb, and it had burned through the top. And I woke up and it was on fire. So I've got this TV with this indentation in the top of it, and it's all melted and shit all over.
Funniest looking thing if you saw it.
You
Yeah.
almost can figure out for yourself what happened. Something burned right through the TV.
you like seeing the TV.
Well, yeah, it just made it through the top of the TV, to the glass, and then the circuitry. Yeah,
How it could still work.
if you saw it though, you'd crack up. Got a couple
Like
relics.
bulb indentation. It's like perfectly round,
Yeah.
orb-like.
I got the sign from the pod, Holly Pond Farm sign. Yeah, it was out for.
Yeah, the pod was great. I just love the pod. I'll tell you. What I wouldn't give to be back there, huh? Yeah, great place. Pod. All right.
Can you guys just give us a little quick intro, you listen to Spin Radio,
Hi, this is Gene Ween, and you're listening to Spin Radio.
Hi, this is Dean Ween of the group Ween, and you're listening to the Spin Radio Network System.
Indicated. You want to do it together?
No.
You want?
Hi, this is Gene Ween.
And I'm Dean Ween of the rock band Ween, and you're listening to the Spin Network Radio.
What about me?
What?
We're sharing here. And you're listening to the Spin Radio Network.